You say no, and everything shifts. The air changes, their body stiffens, their voice rises. What was a calm moment becomes a power struggle in seconds. And suddenly you're not just setting a boundary, you're managing an escalation. Many parents quietly ask,
why does every boundary turn into a meltdown? Am I doing this wrong? Should I be firmer, softer, more consistent?
Here's the truth. Boundaries aren't the problem. It's how the nervous system experiences them, because boundaries and connection are not opposites. When done well, boundaries create safety. Ready? Because this is Calm Parent Collective, less perfect parent, more real one. Why boundaries feel threatening. To understand escalation, we need to understand perception. When a child hears no, their brain doesn't process it as a philosophical discussion about limits. Their nervous system asks one question: am I safe? For some children, particularly autistic children, ADHD children, or those with anxiety, limits can feel like loss of control, unexpected change, rejection, shame, unpredictability. Even small limits can trigger a stress response if the child's system is already close to overload. And once the stress response activates, logic disappears. The prefrontal cortex goes offline, the survival brain takes over. This is why repeating the boundary louder rarely works. The issue isn't understanding, it's regulation. The first shift: regulate before you relate. The most powerful boundary setting tool isn't wording, it's your nervous system. Children co-regulate. If you deliver a boundary with tension in your jaw, sharpness in your tone, or urgency in your body, their nervous system reads that before it processes your words. Calm doesn't mean permissive, it means steady. When your body communicates,
this is safe, I'm not angry. This isn't a threat.
Escalation decreases dramatically. Sometimes this means pausing before speaking, lowering your voice instead of raising it, softening your facial expression, grounding yourself physically before delivering the limit. Boundaries delivered with calm confidence land very differently than boundaries delivered with stress. Structure reduces shock. Escalation often happens when limits feel sudden. Imagine you're deeply focused on something and someone abruptly says, "Stop, now." Your body would jolt too. Transitions need preparation. Instead of "turn it off," try.
In 5 minutes, the TV is turning off. After this episode, we're done. When the timer rings, we're switching.
Predictability lowers threat. Visual timers, verbal countdowns, and consistent routines create psychological cushioning. The boundary isn't a surprise, it's an expected event. And expected events don't trigger the same fight or flight response. Validate before you enforce. Here's a simple but powerful sequence. Empathy first, boundary second. For example,
you really want to keep playing. It's hard to stop when you're having fun. It's time for dinner.
Validation does not mean agreement, it means recognition. When children feel seen, their nervous system softens. When they feel dismissed, even unintentionally, escalation rises. Validation communicates, "I understand your feelings." The boundary communicates, and the limit still stands. Both can exist together. Fewer words, stronger delivery. When children escalate, adults often explain more. But during stress, language processing decreases. Long explanations feel overwhelming. The most effective boundaries are simple, clear, and brief. Short sentences feel solid. Over-explaining can sound like negotiation, and negotiation invites pushback. Clarity reduces confusion. Confusion increases escalation. Offer controlled choices. Some children escalate because limits feel like loss of autonomy. You can maintain the boundary while returning a sense of control. Instead of "put your shoes on now," try,
do you want the red shoes or the blue shoes?
The boundary remains, shoes are happening, but autonomy exists within limits. Controlled choices reduce power struggles because they respect the child's need for agency. Especially for children with demand avoidance profiles, perceived control matters deeply. You are not surrendering authority, you are structuring it wisely. Separate the feeling from the behavior. Escalation often intensifies when children feel judged. Instead of, stop being dramatic, try,
I see you're really frustrated.
and then,
I won't let you throw the tablet.
feelings are allowed, unsafe behavior is not. When children know their emotions aren't the problem, they stop fighting to defend them. The boundary becomes about safety, not identity. That shift reduces shame, and shame fuels escalation more than almost anything else. When escalation still happens, even with perfect delivery, escalation will sometimes happen. Boundaries are activating by nature. Your job is not to eliminate all reactions. It's to remain steady through them. If your child yells, stay grounded. If they cry, stay regulated. If they argue, repeat calmly. No new lectures, no emotional withdrawal, no threats. Consistency builds security over time. Children test limits less when they trust that limits don't come with emotional volatility. What makes escalation worse? Certain responses unintentionally intensify the moment. Raising your voice, adding consequences mid-escalation. Sarcasm, threats you can't enforce, withdrawing affection. When stress meets stress, it multiplies. The more emotionally charged the adult response, the more intense the child's reaction becomes. Boundaries should feel boring, predictable, neutral. Intensity is what creates fireworks. Repair matters more than perfection. After hard moments, repair is powerful. Not apologizing for the boundary, but reconnecting emotionally. That was hard. I'm proud of you for calming down. I love you. Repair teaches. Even when we disagree, the relationship stays intact. When children trust that connection survives conflict, boundaries stop feeling catastrophic. They feel contained. The bigger picture. Setting boundaries without escalation isn't about perfect wording. It's about nervous system leadership. Your child's reaction is not a measure of your parenting. It's information about regulation capacity in that moment. The more consistently you prepare transitions, validate feelings, speak briefly, offer controlled choices, and stay calm under stress, the less dramatic the reactions become over time. Not overnight, but gradually, because safety rewires the brain. Boundaries are not harsh. They are containers. They tell children, there is structure here, there is safety here, there's an adult who can handle this. Escalation decreases when limits feel predictable, regulated, and respectful. You don't need to dominate to lead. You don't need to overpower to maintain authority. Calm clarity is stronger than intensity. Calm parenting isn't about avoiding boundaries. It's about delivering them in a way the nervous system can tolerate. Remember, when you lead with steadiness instead of force, your child eventually learns to borrow that steadiness too. And if today was rough, you still did enough. Catch you on the next one.